I'm like, bitch, don't be doing nothing outside of your motherfucking work list. Whatever you supposed to be doing, that's all you need to be doing. Fuck them. Don't be letting them making you work extra hard. Girl, you don't need to be doing all. I be going off. What up, everybody? You are back in tune with another episode of In the Fields podcast. I am your host, Johnny, with my lovely fiance, soon-to-be wife, Lisa. And yes, you guys are back for episode 5, man. We're here. And on this episode, I think we're going to really circle in on the art of saying no. You know, how hard is it to say no sometimes? Like the guilt that comes with saying no. And just the whole stigma of if you say no, you're a bad person, like, or people always make you feel bad when you say no. So like, yeah, man, we're going to really focus in on that one. And before we get into that though, I would love to do a weekly check-in, babe. How are you doing?
Check-in sound nice.
Yeah, how are you doing? You know, how's everything going? Like I said, the last time we did a weekly check-in, guys, you know, we just tune in with each other on the daily. Like, yes, we talk and we may vent and stuff like that, but we don't really get to sit down and just really discuss everything that's going on and really take a deep dive into it and just, you know, disconnect so that we can do this. So that's why we want to do this segment. And yeah, we think it's important, man. And if you guys see, my cat is right here. He's coming in. So everybody welcome Thor on the floor.
Yeah,
by
we're
the
about
door.
to start playing like I Spy. How many times can we spot Bo?
Yeah, right. Freaking where's Bo? And he's just like, where's Waldo type of vibe. So yeah, man. How are you doing, baby? How's everything?
Well, I mean, from the last, what was it, episode 2? We did our weekly check-in last.
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
So whenever that was, obviously a lot has changed since then. As far as like, I'm not as stressed.
Ooh, that's a plus.
Yeah, I mean, things have kind of just been falling into place. You know, like you've been talking about us doing like this thing, and we're definitely coming up now. I mean, our renovations are finally coming together and finally coming to a close, and they look amazing. But also just finding it in myself to stand up for myself, especially at work, to try to put myself in a better position. And it's crazy because one thing that when I was having the meeting with my managers and I like was just honest and being like, hey, like this isn't something I typically do, but I feel like it could be beneficial. And the one thing she said to me that stood out was, yeah, like you have to be confident enough to speak your truth, speak how you feel, and like put your ideas out there, because if you don't, you're never going to get anywhere. Like, I know it's scary, but if you just put yourself out there, good things might happen. So, I mean, it's definitely put me in a more positive lighting that like, hey, I do have some value, I do have some potential, and I can make something really dope of this.
Oh, yeah.
So that's definitely exciting. And, you know, obviously us getting to episode 5 and just all the love we've been getting and the support that I've been getting from everybody, it's just, it feels amazing. So I'm in a good place.
That's good, man. That's good. I love to see it.
Yeah.
You know, I love seeing you happy. It's definitely one of my guilty pleasures, I guess you could call it. But it makes me happy to see you happy.
Oh, and your laptop came early.
Yes,
So.
and if you guys have been following me on social media, you guys would know that wifey went and bought me a new laptop to edit these episodes on, because I was editing one of our episodes and it crashed. And she saw just how visibly pissed I was and immediately took it upon herself to just hear that stress or hear that distress and immediately fill in.
I think it was just the fact that like when you first brought that laptop home that you have, you were like super excited about it because you were like, it's for business, like it's high quality, it's good, blah, blah, blah. And then you started using CapCut and that was like atrocious. Going through that process.
Yeah, definitely don't have the power.
So then you're like, you know what? I'm just going to get rid of this and I'm going to do this instead. And then it's like, it still ended up crashing on you. And it's just like, I could see the pure frustration that you're like, I just don't, why? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
so
man.
then I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to research real quick, best laptops for podcasting, for editing. Took the number one thing that came up and looked at the specs, looked at the reviews, and I impulsively bought it.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. I'm so grateful. Thank you. I really appreciate you.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm just glad that you're happy. You know what I mean? I'm glad that things have been going well for you lately because, you know, I see how hard it is for you sometimes, you know? I see that, you know, some days are difficult for you and I see how much it takes the wind out of your sails. So just makes me happy to see you happy. And, you know, I always tell you, you deserve it. You deserve the world, baby. So.
How was your week?
I can't complain, man. Like you said, the renovations are pretty much done. Well, at least I would say phase one of them because there's obviously more things that we plan on doing, lights and things like that around the house. But yeah, man, it's been overall pretty good, man. I can't complain. The kids have been great. You know what I'm saying? The overall just things of life have been feeling very purposeful and fulfilling.
I like that. Definitely purposeful.
It's not something that's like just hasn't been like heavy lately, you know?
Yeah.
And then of course we're coming up to our trip soon, so like
I'm
excited
wait.
to have a little getaway with you, of course.
Although I'm terrified of getting on that plane.
Dude, with all the planes falling out of the sky, bro, I'm not surprised. Like
Everybody
I
said-
do not blame you.
Everybody's been saying you should fly Spirit because they're the only ones that have not had an incident.
Yo, for real, this is true. This is true. Yo, and everybody always says, like, yo, you fly a Spirit, you gonna become a Spirit. You better watch out.
And they're the only
and
ones
the only ones that's granted, your flight might get canceled, or they might give you some flight credit, or they might overbook because that's what they're like notoriously known for. But
Yeah.
you know, at least you'll be good, man. But yeah, overall, I've been good. I can't complain. Like
We're definitely
every
on
week,
the up.
Yeah, and also just every week, I look forward to doing this with you. You know what I mean? Like I was explaining to somebody the other day when I was on, I went live on TikTok, and I was telling them like, yo, bro, like this has been so good. Like they even asked me about the music, and I've been like, yo, but right now, like this is like it's giving that same purpose in my soul. Like creating this with you gives me that same energy, like that I feel when I'm creating music. So it's like, yeah, bro, this is such a creative process, and we're doing something that, like, don't get me wrong, I love making music.
Oh, I know.
But I see how beneficial this is for us just on the outside. Like, yeah, we're on camera, we set up, we got the lights, we make sure we're looking all good and shit. But then after the camera turns off, the positive impact from this,
Yeah.
it spills out to our kids. I mean, you even said you were at volleyball practice with our daughter.
Yeah.
And one of her teammates who they was slept over and they were here watching a shoot.
It was episode 1.
Yeah. And they had said something, and then the one girl was like, that's the podcast talking. So it's like, you know, just overall.
It was such a high that I was just like, we didn't even drop the episode yet, but
Yeah,
just
and the
from you
fact that it's
sitting
like-
in and watching, I'm like, what?
It's doing exactly what, like, the same feeling I get for the music. Like when people hit me up and they're like, yo, bro, your song got me through this.
Yeah.
Or yo, when I'm at the gym, bro, this song, like that same feeling I get is the same feeling I get when I do this and I see people and how supportive they are. But I love the fact that it's not just me either. Like that's the one thing the music wasn't doing, is like it would be me and it's just me. Unless I'm like working with another artist or like I'm working with said director, versus like we are building this and it's impacting everybody around us positively. So I don't know. For me, it fills that same purpose.
Even
So,
watching like Jonathan with how involved he is and like the things that he's
oh
pointing
my God, when he's
out
there watching
and-
episodes with us and he's like, I love it so far, guys. It's honestly, for just starting, you guys are doing amazing. Let's just start there. And he's like, this is what you guys could do next. And this is how you can improve. I love that. Like, I love how
And he's only
involved-
7.
Yeah. I love how involved and I love how people want us to win. That's a big one that like in music, it's not always like that because everybody wants to be Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Or everybody wants to be LeBron, or everybody wants to be Steph. So it's a little different versus here. I feel like it's just a safe space to create.
And
it feels
even
good.
despite how many podcasts there are,
Yeah.
it's not even something that like I think about because what's dope is every podcast kind of has its own lane.
Well, and everybody's
like,
different. We're all unique too.
We all have different perspectives. So
Mm-hmm.
like that is one thing that's dope because that is different than the music because there are a bunch of people that do R&B or just sing or just rap or just do drill music or whatever the case is. But like with podcasts, it's actual deep conversations and getting numerous different perspectives from everybody that's involved in them.
Yeah, man, and I like it because it is, like I said, it always kind of feels like a safe space in a sense, because if it's not your cup of tea, you don't have to listen to it, and that's okay.
Keep scrolling.
You don't make a podcast to beef with this other podcast, and now we're doing episodes to talk about each other in a bad way. Like, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? So versus like in music is different. It's like, oh, I don't like you,
Rap
you don't
beef.
like me. Now I'm gonna make a song to tell you about how much of a bitch you are. Like, bro, it's like I said, it's just, I feel like this is a safe space to create because it's not as hostile of an environment.
Very positive.
Yeah, which is cool. And I get to create whatever the hell I want. You know what I'm saying? And I get to push whatever message I want. And like, I told you one of my biggest goals is just making positive content go viral. Like, that's what I want to do. I
Even
want to
if
push
I could
positive
help
energy.
just one person,
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
I would feel very fulfilled in that.
Yeah, and like I said, man, I think it's just super dope. And yeah, I've been good. I can't complain, man. We're on the, we're doing the thing that life does, where it's on its ups and it's on the ups, and I can't complain.
I love that.
So, hell yeah, man. Wonder Twins activate, turn into a bucket of water. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, man. But before we continue the episode, you guys already know we're gonna give you a word from our sponsors. Introducing Ula Lade, the official drink sponsor of In the Fields podcast, the only drink sponsor of In the Fields podcast. Made with love, fresh squeezed, made here in the 610, but I'm pretty sure it's the best lemonade in the entire universe, galaxy, and this entire existence.
And this is a new flavor.
And this is a new flavor,
So live
exclusively sold at Big Bank in the Lehigh Valley Mall. If you guys are not in tune, also another 610 homegrown brand. Go get some Big Bank at the Lehigh Valley Mall. This flavor is the Money Dew, and I'm excited, man. I'm pretty sure Lashells, the creator of Ula Lade, mentioned that this was going to be like a kiwi honeydew.
It smells amazing.
All right, so okay,
and I could only imagine how refreshing this is.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. Ready? Cheers.
Every time, he never misses.
My God, bro. Yeah. I'm going to say this time and time again.
So
I'm
refreshing.
pretty sure these fruits are they're genetically modified with dopamine, because you drink this and it immediately makes you happy.
Every time.
Pretty sure the water he uses is from the Fountain of Youth, because it feels so good to drink this. Yeah, guys, I can't say it enough, guys. Natural ingredients, made with love, fresh squeezed, Ula Lade. We thank you guys for sponsoring our podcast. You will be the only official drink sponsor of In the Fields podcast.
Can't wait to get him on here.
Yeah, man. Make sure you guys stay tuned. We will have an Ula Fields episode coming soon. Until then, man, back to the episode. And welcome back to episode 5, guys. Like we said, 5 guys, burgers and fries. Welcome back to episode 5. Like I said,
I can't with you.
This episode, guys, we're going to be honing in on the art of saying no and how important it is.
Yeah.
We know just from personal experience with each other how difficult it can be to say no. And
I'm the worst at saying no to anybody for the most part.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'm getting better at it.
I also think people confuse like you can say no and set healthy boundaries, but I think people confuse that often with like being a bad person.
Yeah.
I think sometimes people view that as selfish, and they will literally they won't stop. They won't say no, and they'll do it to the point where they're stretched so thin. You know what I mean? And like, it's okay to say no. It's okay to not stretch yourself thin. You're not a bad person by saying no.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a negative thing. For most people, a lot of the time, it could just be setting a boundary. Like, you need to have boundaries in relationships and with things, because like you said, you could be stretched very thin when you're constantly doing things for yourself, but for others as well.
Yeah.
Like there are times where you do have to just be like, no, I can't do that right now. And there's ways to do it in a positive manner. Like you don't have to be negative when you say the word no. It could be something positive in like, hey, like I appreciate you coming to me and ask. And like I really love you, whatever the case may be. But like right now I just can't. Like I'm sorry. Versus just being like, no, fuck you. Like, you know, there are ways to say it in a nice way without coming off very negative.
Yeah, and I think it's hard for people too because I think we associate, you know, being told no with like being let down. You know, I think even as a kid, like no, like when your parents tell you no, right? Like you're like, "Aw, well that sucks." So then it's like I feel like you think when you tell people no that they're going to be like, oh, well, they're going to feel like how you felt when you were told no. Or like, you know, I think there's like a lot of mixed feelings about it. And, you know, that kind of brings us back to our episode where we talked about like friendships. Like, you know, you have the people who really love you and the people who genuinely appreciate you. They're going to respect. Yeah, they're going to respect those boundaries. They're not going to hold it over your head or like guilt trip you. And I think that's you know, that's important that you surround yourself with people like that. But, you know, saying no is important. If you don't, sometimes you can like create resentment for yourself. Like you'll stretch yourself thin and then you'll snap and then like you're blaming everybody else that for wearing you down when
you could have just
you
said
have
no.
to know your own limits. Yeah, like it's important to say like, hey, no, I can't do this today, bro. I haven't had a day off in 10, 15 days. I need a break.
I actually,
you know what I mean?
For example, like there's some girl that I've been talking to that I've been connecting with since we've been starting talking about this podcast and everything. And she's very much on the same wavelength as me of like being a girl's girl and all this stuff. And because we've kind of like clicked, we talked about hanging out and we talked about possibly doing it this Sunday.
Yeah.
But once it came, I hit her up Friday. I told her I would hit her up closer to the end of the week. And I told her, yo, I am free Sunday, maybe around like 1 or 2. And then she was like, hey, she was like, if I'm being honest, she was just like, I've been stretching myself very thin. Like I've been having a lot going on trying to create this business and all this stuff. And that's like my only day off. So like can we pick a different day? Because I really need to like lock in, get cleaning done and like just take some time for myself. And I was just like, girl, yes.
Please, yeah.
Do whatever you need to do for yourself because we got time. Like we could always make plans another day, but like, I love that. Like, thank you for just being honest and just being like, yo, can we just reschedule? Because, you know, it's nice when you are able to have those healthy conversations and like, I guess, explain yourself, but in a way that it's like, I'm not saying fuck you and I'm not like trying to dub you. I'm not trying to like, you know, do anything in a negative.
Mean.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just life, man. Like I got life going on.
Life be lifing, bro.
Because as adults, I feel like that should be something very understandable.
Yeah, everybody, we all live, right? We're all here. We're all existing, right? Like we all have bills. Like unless you live under a rock, like we all experiencing this existence. You know what I mean? And I think, like I said, when you don't say no, it can lead to things like resentment. Like I said, you start blaming people.
You push people away.
You kind of like get yourself into a rut or into a dark place. But
I think another side too is in like certain situations when you're not capable of saying no, people will take advantage of you.
Yeah. And that was going to lead me to what I was going to say next, like about setting like healthy boundaries. Like you have to know your limits. If you, and that obviously comes with looking within yourself, realizing and like, you know, realizing your limits and like knowing, okay, I'm capable of doing this, or being able to just say no in a nice way, like you said, like not being mean. But yeah, you guys have to like know your limits, know when it's okay to say no. Your friends, the people who really love you, are going to be okay with it. They're going to understand. I mean, even 9 times out of 10, sometimes I've come across my friends who ask me for something and I'll tell them, yo, bro, I just really can't do it right now. And they'll be like, yo, is everything okay? Like, that's real friends.
Nice,
that's my real friends. The people who are like, yo, is everything good, bro? Like, I know if you need something, you let me know. They'll like flip the tables on you. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, you got to know your limits. You got to set healthy boundaries for yourself. And, you know, that's huge right now. You know what I mean? Being able to set boundaries and say, hey, I don't have the capacity, mentally or physically to take on what you're asking me to. Because like you said, people will take advantage of it, man. I've been a victim of that. I have fallen victim to not wanting to tell people no, because I don't like to tell people no.
That's my problem.
Part of it is I like to be reliable. I like to be dependable. I like to come through for people.
But at what cost?
Yeah, exactly. What is the cost? Sometimes I be pissed. But you know what? I always kind of tell myself too, like, whatever you put out in the universe, like God's going to bring it back to me. Like, I don't really have to stress because, God got me. Like, God going to spin the block for me. You know what I mean? I don't got to worry about it. So whenever I feel those, I just give it to the Lord, bro. Like, whenever I had those moments, like, I gotta just woosah.
You taught me that.
You know what I mean? Might have to burn one and that's it, baby. We good. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, I think that's super important to just be able to say no. Yeah. But do it in the right way. You don't have to be mean. And guys, you don't have to feel bad about it. It's okay to say no. Yeah. Like I said, if anybody's going to guilt trip you about it, or if they're going to make you feel bad about it, that's not a person you want to surround yourself with. That's a person who does not respect your boundaries. They don't care about how you feel. And their only objective and their primary objective is getting whatever they need done. They're not picking up on any social cues. They're not curious as to why it is you can't come through for them. They're not even concerned with that. They're just worried about whatever they got going on. So, yeah, man, those are the type of people you want to stay away from. Your real friends are going to totally be understanding, and sometimes they don't even need an explanation. No is enough for some of them, because they understand too that life be lifing.
Yeah, I think one of the most difficult places I struggle with it though is at work. Like in work setting.
I mean, that's tough.
It adds like another layer of responsibility.
Well, especially when you're like hourly or salary. You know what I mean? This doesn't really apply to people like working commission, because you guys know if you don't work, you don't get paid. That's simple. That's cut, dry. That's just what it is. But like hourly and salary, it's like, especially if it's like performance based, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you want to work harder in hopes to achieve and climb the ladder, and you know what I mean? It's hard to say no. And then you get to days where you feel taken advantage of. I've seen you come home. I know what your list of responsibilities are at work, and I know what they are on paper versus what you do are two totally different things.
Yeah, because it's like, I know like I'm good at what I do, but I feel like any job that I've had, not even the one that I'm at now, but like any job that I've had, because of the fact that I do work hard and I am a good employee, I feel like that's always been taken advantage of, because I feel like I'm looked at like, well, Lisa will get it done. I know Lisa can handle it.
If it has to get done, Lisa will do it.
And then
She'll definitely do it.
Despite what I already have on my plate, if a manager or somebody in charge or in power comes to me, I have the hardest time being like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Bro, and then when you come home, that's when like my best friend kicks in. Like there's moments where like I talk to her and I'm like her man and I'm her fiance and I'm, baby, it's okay. And that's like when I'm being her man. When I'm being her bestie, I'm like, bitch, don't be doing nothing outside of your motherfucking work list. Whatever you supposed to be doing, that's all you need to be doing. Fuck them. Don't be letting them making you work extra hard. Girl, you don't need to be doing all. I be going off. Because, bro, it's like, I be like, man, I just love you, bro. And I hate seeing you get taken advantage of. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just deserve better than that. And I'm glad, as of lately, you've been coming home with a much happier, vibrant feeling. So, there's been a dynamic shift at your job, which is, I want to, I'm just going to say is probably and most likely due to you being, being just more confident at your job. And that's all, like I said, that was from this. Like I was saying earlier, bro, I'm like, yo, I love how what we're doing here is like, it's spilling out into the world. Yeah. And we're flowing. It's like overflowing positivity is here. Like this overflows and it just spills into our life outside of this, which is like, it's just fucking dope, dude. It's so dope. And I'm just like, so grateful to see that. Yeah, man. I'm just so happy.
Killing it.
Dude, hell yeah. Life's been, give me some. Paper covers rock. Got her. So what's up? You want to get into our questions and we can bring them home for this episode?
We could do that.
We could do that. What you got for me? You want to go first? You want me to go first?
I'll go first.
Go ahead. Hit me with it, baby. What you got for me? Question time.
Ba-dow-dow. All right.
Oh, and guys, real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Saying no is a skill. It takes practice. It's not something you're going to get right the first time. Just like any skill, practice.
Because it makes better.
Hell yeah. Practice does not make perfect, but practice makes better. My bad. Question time. For real this time. Go, baby.
All right. So for my first question, how do you handle the guilt or anxiety that comes with setting boundaries?
I think the first thing you need to do is ask yourself, why would you feel guilty about protecting your energy? What makes you feel guilty about doing that? Why are you so anxious?
Yeah.
Because if the thought is, well, whoever I'm talking to or whoever I may be setting these boundaries with is going to feel some type of way, they need to fucking go. Yeah. I'm sorry. We deserve
anxiety
respect.
Is a feeling.
Right,
and
exactly.
It's not who you are, but it's what around you.
And it's
causing
anxiety
you to feel
usually
that
is
way.
associated with like some sort of fear. Like you fear some sort of outcome, right? And that's why you're anxious or that's why you have anxiety. Like you're predetermining a negative outcome and that's what's causing you to feel that feeling. So my question would be, and I don't mean to answer your question with a question, but I would rebuttal that with, well, why would you feel guilty about protecting your peace? Are you not supposed to be doing that? Are you not supposed to be protecting your energy? If somebody is making you feel uncomfortable about setting boundaries, then the problem doesn't lie with you. It lies with the people that you're surrounding yourself with because they're telling you that, nah, you can't set boundaries around me. You need to be the way I want you to be around me. Nah, bro, I am who I am. I'm going to continue to be me and continue to do what I think is best for me. If that doesn't align with your relationship with me, then we shouldn't be in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I feel like, and that touches like on all aspects, right? Because there's different scenarios in which one would say no. Like, for example, you feeling stretched too thin and being like, I need time to myself, or you being put in a situation where you know something bad is going to happen because the people you're with are making bad decisions. And a lot of the time, those people encourage that same bad behavior. And if you're not capable enough of saying no, you're going to find yourself in really shitty positions where you could either find yourself in some sort of danger, you could put yourself in some type of situation where maybe you could get in trouble with the cops or with a parent or whoever. Like, you just need to know when to say no. So this way you protect yourself at all times, but also protecting your peace and your mental well-being and, your physical and mental health. Just like, I feel like it just ties in with so many different aspects.
Yeah. And like I said, to answer your question in a nutshell, there is no way to deal with the guilt and anxiety that comes with saying no because there really shouldn't be. You shouldn't feel guilty about having to say no.
You should be confident in your response.
You should be confident and know. First of all, it starts with understanding, your limits and understanding what you are and are not capable of doing. Once you are familiar with that and you're cool with that, then you set the boundaries for yourself. Those boundaries are already set before they're voiced to anybody. If anything, you're voicing them to people who get close to the boundary. Yeah. And you're like, hey. Just a heads up, bro. Like, I don't think that's gonna go well for me. That's just not something I could do right now. Cool. Your friend is going to respond like that. Yo, it's cool. Straight, bro. Appreciate you for letting me know. I got you. I'll make sure we're good.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So yeah, it's not, there shouldn't be any guilt. Key. Shouldn't be any guilt or anxiety associated with it. You need to be confident in setting your boundaries. If you want people to respect them, you need to respect yourself. So
I like that.
Bars. Mic drop.
All right, what's your question?
All right, here we go.
Give it to me.
It's crazy that I ended the question the way I just ended it because it segues right into my next question, which is, what are the biggest benefits of being able to say no confidently?
Being able to say no confidently is just giving yourself power. Like you're empowering yourself in being able to stick to the boundaries you set for yourself and not caving to fit someone else's agenda.
Yeah.
Like being that confident and knowing where you settle and where your boundaries are, what your limits are, and all that stuff, and respecting yourself enough to stay within that area and not stepping outside of it to please what somebody else is asking of you or wanting of you. Because like you said, if they're not going to respect you setting those boundaries, then they're not meant to be in your life, more than likely. Because every time they get the chance, they're going to try to test a little bit more and see how much more they could keep taking from you and getting out of you. And that's when it starts turning into situations where you may feel used or being taken advantage of or feeling like a doormat. And it's like, how much more can I give? And somehow you still need more from me. As if there aren't other people in your life that you could ask. Why is it always me?
Yeah.
So I would just leave it at that. Just feeling empowered and knowing that within yourself and keeping that confidence there.
And with that power comes with that ability to feel like you have the hands on, you have both hands on the wheel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doesn't feel like there's room for error when you're confident.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, man, I liked that answer. That was good. I liked how they kind of like segued into each other too. Go ahead. What you got for me?
All right.
Was this question 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So how do you think consistently saying no, obviously when necessary, has impacted your overall well-being and productivity?
Let me think. Hit me with it one more time so that I can answer this properly.
How do you think consistently saying no when necessary has impacted your overall well-being and productivity?
I think the most important thing is that when I was able to say no and I was able to just kind of give myself that grace, like you would say, I was able to clear my mind. I was able to give myself concise thoughts on what it is I wanted to do and what I wanted to get completed so that this way I didn't feel overwhelmed. And I think that's the biggest thing, the biggest impact, you know what I mean? Especially on my productivity. Or my productivity is like, it just overall improved because I didn't feel like I was trying to do a million things at once. I was able to just kind of categorize.
Narrow it down.
And categorize it and prioritize it. Like, okay, look, I know you need me to do that. I got to get this done first.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
But I'm saying no right now because I can't do it right now. I need to be able to put it here. Like, and when I promise I ain't going to forget. If you get it done before I'm able to get it done, let me know. So then I could check it off on my list, but just know I got you. It allows me to kind of like, make a list of things and make a checklist of like prioritizing it from, what I have going on. And it's not that I don't want to make time for you. So, I just can't do it right now. You know what I mean? And that comes with setting that healthy boundary. Like, being able to know like, this is all I can do today. If I can get to it, I got you. If I can't get to it, I can't.
Because in doing that, you could strengthen your connections. You deal with things that you're breaking bad habits, you're creating self-discipline. Like you're gaining a lot from doing that.
Well, yeah, it's like I said, it's all a skill. So if you're not practicing it in your daily life and you're not implementing it.
But it's nice with how much you gain from being able to do stuff like that as well. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just a thing that you do and then it's just whatever. Like you're actually gaining things from being able to stick to those boundaries and all of that good stuff.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, bro. I like that. That's good.
Coming with the good questions.
Hell yeah, man. We bring in that good. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, so when was a time that you struggled to say no and what were the consequences?
I think the biggest one would be for me at work. Because of the fact that it's like within that position, the people that typically come to you to ask you favors and to ask you to do things are people in power. And we're always taught from a very young age to not question authority, to not, go against what's being asked of you or told to you. And you kind of just take it for what it is, do it because that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. And you just got to take that one to the chin and just do it. And I've found myself numerous times in positions where I could get it done, sure. And then I have this plate of stuff, and it's not that I'm not capable. I could bang that stuff out like it's nothing. But what is that? Where is that leaving me emotionally, mentally, physically? Now I'm feeling burnt out. Now I'm getting stressed. Now I'm getting annoyed because I see all these other coworkers doing less than, and I'm doing more.
Yeah, it's tough.
So then it puts you in a position where it's like, why are you guys using me and the fact that I'm a good worker to your benefit when there's other people you can delegate tasks to make it an even playing field? Instead, you keep putting it all on my plate because I'll get it done. That's not necessarily, that's not fair.
You're going to do it right.
Right. And that's not fair because if you feel like these other people aren't capable, then you need to train them to make them capable.
Yeah.
Like that's just, it has to be a give and take. Like you can't expect me to do everything. Mm-hmm. So I've definitely found myself in very discouraging situations where I feel less than, in a sense, because of how much I'm being depleted and how much energy is being drained from me. And then I get to the point where, what, fuck this, I'm out. I'm just going to go find somewhere else.
Yep.
And I hate job hopping. So like where I'm at now.
It's just like, it becomes a rinse and repeat cycle too. Cause like you end up showing that you're a good employee. And it's like that post that I saw that was like, I accidentally became important at my job and I hate it. Or something like that.
I think I posted that.
Because it's like, yo, bro, it's not my fault that I'm a good employee.
Yeah,
like, if you tell me what needs to get done, bro, I'm going to get it done. Yeah. It's not my fault that that's what I'm good at. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man.
That would have to be the number one thing for me. And like, granted, like I've obviously had situations where like exes of mine took advantage of me not being able to say no, friends of mine that, took advantage of me for not saying no. But those are things that I've learned over time to where like you've even said in another episode that like you can even see like how my boundary setting game has been lately. Like I have been getting better at like setting those boundaries for myself to keep myself at a mental stable place.
Well, I mean, just seeing you grow too, like I know when like I first met you, you were very focused on like what everybody else wanted and needed, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like as we've grown together, like you have taken the time to reflect on yourself
first.
Yeah, and be like, what does Lisa need? You know what I mean? And I think that's, that's super dope.
That's like the number one important thing is that you guys find a way to put yourself first in whatever sense that may be. And understanding like the little things that we're even discussing here is tools to help you little by little start allowing yourself to put yourself first.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you guys have to all go create a podcast with your wife. No. That's not.
It is fun though.
It's pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. If you guys want to just go get like mics and play around with it, like you guys are more than welcome to. I think it's dope because we see this as a non-negotiable for us too. Like it's something that we put in place, like I said, for us to communicate and to just, iron sharpens iron type of vibe. You know what I mean? Where we make each other better. But yeah, man, I liked your answer. That was good. That's good, man. You gonna hit me with question 3?
Yep. All right. So in the long run, how do you think our listeners' lives will improve by learning to say no?
I think if they start practicing the skill and start working on their ability to say no in a confident manner, but also in a nice way, it will make their lives seem less overwhelming. Mm-hmm. They won't feel like they're getting stretched so thin because they won't be.
Yeah.
They will refuse to allow that to happen. They will set that boundary for themselves and they'll say, hey, I can't do that. I'm not doing that. No, that's just being self-aware is important. And I think that's something that comes with being able to confidently say no, is being self-aware of, hey man, I got a lot going on. Mm-hmm. No, I can't. You're aware that you have only so much of you, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's the biggest impact that they'll get from being able to implement this is you'll become more self-aware. I also think that, you know, practicing the skill makes you better, and you'll be able to prioritize yourself in a sense by being able to confidently say no. You know what I mean? I feel like people do it a lot of the time. They're either like trying to be people pleasers, or they're worried about
people pleasing is
they're
crazy.
worried about people like
judging them,
or like being like, all right, well, fuck you then.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I get it. You don't want people to be like, you're not dependable. You don't want to seem as like Mr. Unreliable.
Well, yeah, but I think that comes like, are you saying no to everything?
Yeah,
Or
there's got to be
is it
time and place.
like-
Yeah, like, is it very seldom, and is it something that's genuine? Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, with setting that boundary and being able to be like, look, man,
Because, like,
I
on the
really
flip
can't.
side-
Life is life in right now.
Yeah, like on the flip side, you still, like, if you want to be a good person, like, show up for people.
Mhm.
Like, yes, be there, be helpful, be kind, be all those great things. But also, in the interim, have your boundaries and be able to say no when you know, like, yo, life is lifing right now and I'm stretched way too thin. Like, right now, that isn't something that I can do. And that's okay. It is, you know, you're allowed to do that. But if you're somebody who's saying no to everything all the time, yeah, people are going to have that negative connotation of like, well, you're not a reliable person. I can't count on you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you build that reputation for
Yeah.
yourself, and that's fine too. Like, if you're somebody who is just like, I have friends that are just busy fucking friends, like,
Yeah.
or I have friends that are third shifters. So when I'm like, hey, bro, let's chill, and he's like, dude, I just got out of work at
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not
Yeah.
chilling. We
Again-
don't do that.
Again,
You know what I mean?
communication is
So,
everything.
yeah, man, that's big, man. I think, like I said, you know, that's the biggest thing people will get from learning to say no, man. They're gonna learn to they're gonna learn how to like be more self-aware and be
Grow.
able to organize their life and their thoughts a little bit better, and just
Yeah.
not just feel so bad. You know what I mean, you won't feel so bad about saying no. It's a skill, and it's okay to say no.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
And then do you have
All right.
one more or are you good?
I've got one more question 3, and then after that we'll take them home. We'll leave the
The questions for
we'll
them.
leave the
and
listeners. We'll leave the listeners with a question,
Then, yep.
and then yeah, man, and then we'll bring them home. All right. So my final question is, what are some strategies for saying no politely but firmly?
I guess like firmly would just be like mean what you say and say what you mean. Like you can't say one thing and then backtrack because then it looks like, you know,
It looks like you're scrambling.
yeah,
Yep.
like, you know, you can be, you said it positive way.
Yeah, politely but
Politely.
firmly.
Yeah, I mean, it would just be as simple of just, you know, instead of just being like, no, you know, maybe explain yourself a little bit. You watch your tone, watch your attitude, watch how you're projecting what you're saying, and just be like, hey, listen, you know, I have a lot going on right now. And as much as I would love to help you at this very moment, that's just not something I can do. But, you know, I got you in a couple of weeks, or, you know, try to offer some type of alternative of a time that you feel like maybe you can be helpful to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to necessarily be a quick, absolutely no, depending on the situation.
Yeah.
But you can just be like, I'm sorry, but like right now, that's not something I could do right now. It doesn't fit within my scope of everything I have got going on. Like, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
Like, you can explain yourself. You don't have to feel bad for explaining yourself, because it at least gives the person you're speaking to a little bit of an understanding of where you're coming from.
Mhm.
Instead of it looking like it's a very negative thing, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And then just standing on what you mean and like what you say when you do it. Like, you can't tell somebody no to something because of X, Y, and Z, but then they later see you on somebody's story or something getting lit or doing something that doesn't align with what you originally said, because now you look like you're somehow fraudulent, or you somehow just made up an excuse to get out of helping a friend or something like that, just to go do nothing, just to go get fucked up or to go hang out with somebody else. Like, bro, you could have just said that.
Yeah, I've definitely been victim to that. Where
Like-
I've seen people be like, "Nah, bro, I can't," or "Yo, I got you later," and then you come through for somebody else.
Yeah, make it make sense.
The fuck?
now I am going to question you.
Yeah, now I'm questioning your entire motive and your prerogative and the type of relationship we have, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's some weird ass shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I can't get jiggy with that.
Yeah. So there is the polite way to say it, but also be firm and like mean what you say. It's like we've been saying, communication is key with everything you're going to experience for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just have to be able to communicate, and that creates healthy connections. That helps you create healthy boundaries and understandings with other people, because that's what life is, right? It's constant interactions with another human being for the most part.
Yep.
Unless you're like an isolated herb that just doesn't ever leave your house, which it's very hard to live life like that.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I couldn't imagine being that way.
I need sun.
Hell yes. I'm tired of looking like a fucking snickerdoodle right now, bro. Like, I'm over it.
Summer is coming.
I need it. I live in freaking Pennsylvania, where spring and winter are fucking... They're like angry baby mama and baby daddy, and they're fighting over custody of Pennsylvania right now. It's annoying. It's like 60, 70 one day, 30 the next.
50 with cold wind.
50 with rain, 35 with wind, possible freaking winter advisory in the middle of March. What the fuck is going on? So, yeah, man, it's nuts.
But yeah, I feel like that was dope.
Yeah,
I feel like that
answer.
was,
Good
something.
questions.
Thanks. You had good questions too. I
Thanks,
think it's
man.
definitely something that people should practice more.
It is. It's a skill, guys. Communication's a skill. The art of saying no. Like, that's why I call it an art, because it's not something you're going to do right the first time. It's something that is also subjective. Like, you may be able to say no to one person and they can take it totally fine. Other people are not good at taking no, and some people are not good with rejection. So, like, I call it an art as well, because it is subjective. Like, some people might not even be in the mood to hear no. So, like, it's also based on how you're feeling. You know what I mean? You tell somebody no who really needs some fucking help, they're going to feel like you're abandoning them. So it's like, it's an art, guys. It's a skill, something that you got to practice. But yeah, man, I loved our questions, and let's bring them home, man.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. So you know how we finish all our episodes. I shouldn't have to tell you, but in case you're new and you're just tuning in, we want to finish we finish every episode by leaving you guys with a question that we want you guys to answer. So the question that we're going to leave you guys with is, what are some things you struggle to say no to, and what are some tips for setting healthy boundaries? Make sure you guys drop it in the comments below the video, or if you see this video on your socials, because you never know when the why in your story is silent and it becomes our story, man. That's the community we want to build, and we want to spread nothing but positive vibes and good energy. Until next episode, which is... Let's take a look here. Dealing with difficult people.
That's fun.
Yeah, that's going to be that's going to be fun. Without losing your mind, of course. Until then, guys, keep feeling.
Keep sharing.
And keep it real within the feels. Yeah, baby, episode 5.
Ta-da.